In this high-stakes caper movie, Jesse Eisenberg and Isla Fisher play Danny and Tessa Ocean, alongside James Franco's brother as Bernie Mac and Woody Boyd as Rusty Ryan. They steal a lot of money and evade capture by Kenosha's own Mark Ruffalo and the overbearing screen presence of Common.
What was that?
I don't know.
Incredible Burt Wonderstone?
Or the ocean.
Oh no, we didn't see that. We saw Now You See Me.
Ho, 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 it's magic, you know. Never believe it's not so. It's magic, you know. Never believe it's not so.
I'm Brandon Kaiser.
Kid Coleman Cole.
Josh Jessen.
And this is our review of Now You See Me. It is directed by Louis Leterrier. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But anyways, this guy did The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one, the Clash of the Titans, and I think he did Transporter. He did some other stuff.
He's the guy who had problems with Edward Norton, isn't he?
Could be.
Yeah.
Or that was Marvel. I don't know. Marvel's pretty iffy on that stuff. But anyways, that's some stuff he's done. And now he did this movie. It stars Jesse Eisenberg, Kenosha's own Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, Melanie Laurent, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Michael Kelly, and Common.
And Common.
And Common for like 2 scenes and barely any lines.
3.
So anyways, yeah.
Nice to see Dave Franco still getting work.
Actually, Dave Franco's kind of on the rise,
All right.
even though I'm still not sure about him. But that's other beside the point. He's okay here. Anyways. And he was okay in 21 Jump Street. That's not what we're talking about. So, off the rails already. And anyways, Now You See Me. What did I think about it? I went into this movie thinking, basically, I really hope this doesn't become, it's magic, and then they never explain anything, and it's always kind of, well, we know magic, so we did it. We're not going to tell you how we did it, and it's really going to be CG, and it's not going to be any sort of explanation. Not real magic, basically. And, yeah, it wasn't that as much as I thought it was going to be. It was mostly them explaining things. Maybe things didn't work out as nicely as they did in the movie when really explaining them, but for the most part they explain. You can talk in a minute. For the most part, they do a decent job of explaining how, at least in theory, the trick would work. For the most part. There are a couple times where this is not the case, and that's kind of when I'm not as high on it. But overall, I thought this was an entertaining and fun movie. Maybe not the greatest, but you'll get enough enjoyment out of it, and you'll have a good time that it's probably still worth going to see. It does include everyone's favorite, some Morgan Freeman narration, which you can never get enough Morgan Freeman narration. So, look forward to that. He has his own TV show, and actually I'd watch the shit out of that show.
He has his own TV show.
Well, I mean, in the story of the movie,
Science Channel.
He has his own TV show, and I would watch the shit out of it if he was telling me how magic tricks work.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah,
Tells you how the universe works. But sorry, I'm gonna go back.
So yeah, I did find enjoyment in this movie mainly because I'm a huge fan of magic and magic shows and tricks and illusions and which we'll get into later.
The occult.
No, not that far. The fun, stuff.
The occult's not fun.
The occult's not fun? Well, the orgies are fun, aren't they?
I'm not into that
I mean,
stuff.
not to do it, but just
I'm
watch
not into
it.
that stuff, okay? I watch Scam School and shit, okay? So I like magic, okay?
Just not orgies, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, anyways, moving on. So the feeling of magic, what it's supposed to be, what it does, why people like it, I think they do a pretty good job of capturing that feeling and the essence and all that kind of stuff. And so in that respect, I did like this movie. The problems with this movie come from a couple things. Number one, there are twists, of course. This is a magician movie. And some of them, including the main one, little obvious, kind of saw them coming. Maybe it's because I watch so many things on magic and like magic enough that I'm thinking, how is this trick pulled off? And so I've kind of, have figured it out. Anyways, thinking about that kind of stuff, but yeah, so don't be surprised if you guess some of the twists, some of the surprises before they actually happen. and that's unfortunate, but it's kind of something that happens. Another thing that I thought the movie was well acted. However, the main four magicians, I didn't find them all that likable. Like, you know, like, you're supposed to be rooting for them, I guess.
I guess?
I guess.
I don't know.
You know, they're like giving money to the poor, I guess, or, you know, victims of Katrina is what they don't mention that by name, but I'm sure they meant Katrina victims. They like give money to them and stuff. And I mean, yeah, that's all great stuff, you know, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, Robin Hood type shit. But overall, their personalities, especially Jesse Eisenberg, is just kind of a dick.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I know they were supposed to be.
Well,
but
I think that was
it didn't
part.
help me root, and they all kind of seemed dickish
Well, no,
in a way.
they're all
but-
really,
No way.
They were all kind of dicks. I don't really know if you're supposed to root for them, and they didn't really have
Yeah,
enough.
it's-
They didn't really give them a lot of screen time to begin with. I mean, they were only when they were on stage and doing their stuff. There wasn't a lot of background personal relationship with them.
No,
mainly it was
no,
just them being
but-
dicks, and
Yeah.
I think that was what they were supposed. I don't think you were supposed to root for them.
I don't know. I see
they
it-
were
maybe-
like sensationalist. But
Maybe
they were
that's a problem with this
dicks.
movie. Then is it's unclear who we're supposed to be rooting for, following.
Obviously,
you
Kenosha's
know.
on Mark Ruffalo.
Well, Kenosha's on Mark Ruffalo is much more a part of this movie than I thought he was going to be. Like
Yeah.
we follow him a lot more than I thought, which is good. You know, love me some Mark Ruffalo, but Kenosha's own Mark Ruffalo. But you know, it was just interesting. And then the other thing is this movie falls into something that a lot of movies and TV shows and storylines fall into, which is the cops in the movie. Okay, they get fooled. Maybe they get fooled again in a slightly different way, and then by the time you get to the third time, you're like, okay, obviously you're not going to do the same sort of stuff the third time when they're prepared for that, and they do it anyways. Kind of.
Like,
There are
stop,
some
think it
ways.
through, yeah.
There are some ways they try to make this make more sense, but I just wasn't really buying it. I have a problem with cops being dumb and predictable in a lot of things, and this was just another example of where this is kind of the case, but not the worst example of this. So, anyways, other than that, I would say this is still a pretty fun movie, worth going to see. You can have there's fun to be had here if you like magic. You know, worth your time. Just be prepared for a couple of these downfalls. And if you haven't seen The Prestige is far superior. If you're looking for magic movies,
That's David
just throwing
Bowie.
that in there.
What the hell's that got to do?
It has David Bowie in
'Cause
there.
it's a
How
magic
could it not be
movie.
superior? They had real magic in there.
Yeah, David Bowie is actually.
He
magic.
literally
He is,
walked through
and
lightning.
he plays Tesla. More real magic. So he probably was really Tesla. You know, history is just. Anyways, enough about The Prestige. Great movie. Go see it if you haven't. Otherwise, you know, this is a pretty good movie. There's fun to be had there. So, Kit, what did you think of Now You See Me?
Well, when I first saw the first trailer of Now You See Me, I thought like, oh, this looks interesting. I'm interested in seeing this. Saw a few more trailers, thought it looked really cheesy. That it's really not going to have a good time in this movie. Almost thought. But during this weekend, our choices were this or After Earth, and I'm going to go with this because After Earth looks horrible. But, like you said, it focused a lot more on Mark Ruffalo than I thought it did. Like, I thought that it was going to follow the team magicians a lot more.
Yeah.
But it seemed to follow Mark Ruffalo and the Interpol agent a lot more, and that just kind of threw me off a bit. But like, I kind of expected to see more what they were doing and everything going on there, and that was not what I saw at all. I thought the story was interesting, like, you know, to the end result. I didn't see that twist at the end that you saw coming as easily. Maybe because I don't think I was focusing enough, or maybe I just didn't think that was a possibility. But
And that's why it was the only... Never mind, okay.
Yeah, that's how it worked. I thought the cast was great. You know, like Woody Harrelson, love him. He's hilarious. I like how they
Why
showed.
would you marry him? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I like how they had the whole they had the whole origin thing about showing the audience of the movie what they could do.
You mean the Ocean's style intro to the cast in the beginning of the movie?
I didn't get an Ocean's vibe from it, but
I got a little bit of an Ocean's vibe of it for like
I think that's one of the main
5 minutes.
That's one of the main areas I think I didn't like the cast so much because like some of them were just like thieves and stuff, and it's like,
Well, yeah.
why am I? Okay, he was a
What?
thief, but even then, Jesse Eisenberg's character is just
A
like,
dick.
yeah, doing douchey moves to pick up chicks
Oh,
and stuff. I mean,
well,
that
We'll
was
get
one
to
of the
that.
things. That was one of the things. They actually like showed him as being like real dicks, like Josh had said, like dicks throughout the movie. But it's more or less like they didn't really show them enough in the movie.
Are you saying they didn't show enough dicks in this movie, Kit? You wanted more dicks in this movie?
Well, Michael Caine.
Because once are stupid. I'm just kidding. I had to throw that in there.
Anyway,
Ruined my perfectly good dick joke.
Yeah, I was about to go into it.
But he said
anyway,
he was about to go into that
You
dick.
asked him if he wanted.
It's better to go into the dick than dick come out of you. Anyway, or in. Anyway, regardless,
Tobias?
I was expecting more back in the fourth between like the key four magicians like Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Woody Harrelson, and Jesse Eisenberg. I expected more like shit from them, but there wasn't. Like, you didn't get a feel of who they were. You just saw their magic performances where they were just in character,
You're right.
and it just wasn't as good. Like
No, we saw some stuff of them outside of the magic performances, but not a lot.
A little bit. Like even like out of the magic performances, like Jesse Eisenberg was still a dick.
Would you want to see more if they were just dicks and that was the extent of their character?
I like to think that they weren't complete dicks. Like
Well, they have dicks.
I got the feeling Isla Fisher's character wasn't a complete dick. Like, she was probably the most genuine person of the group.
Probably, yeah.
Because
You
she
say
was
she was a
just
pussy?
she was just performing magic when we meet her in the beginning, not stealing money
I mean,
from people
like
and shit.
Isla Fisher, she was just performing magic. Dave Franco was pretty much, he didn't have a huge audience. He was just like a street performer.
I'm pretty sure he was a pickpocket.
He was a pickpocket. He was a pickpocket / street performer. That's all he did. Like,
I think he's a pickpocket first, street performer.
$100. You can figure this out. You figured it out. Ah, crap. Yeah, he figured it out.
It was very obvious too. I
And like a true magician, he just moved on to the next trick. Then that's what happens when you get found out.
Yeah, but I love the magic fight. The magic fight. Like, sorry, no, I'm
The
talking
magic
about,
fight?
I know I'm talking about scenes, but the magic fight I thought was entertaining as hell.
Sure. There was some interesting choreography in it. Sure.
Yeah, that was interesting. Mark Ruffalo, sorry,
Kenosha's own.
Kenosha's own.
got so good. Kenosha's own Mike Ruffalo got so pissed
Mike
off.
Ruffalo.
Say Mike.
There probably is a Mike in Kenosha.
There
Mike
is.
Ruffalo. I'm sure there is.
Kenosha's
Mike.
own Mark Ruffalo
Shout
got
out to
so
Mike.
angry in this movie so many times. Like, he's gonna Hulk out. He's gonna Hulk out. He's gonna Hulk out. He didn't. But that's all I thought of, honestly. Every time he got pissed off, which was just about every scene he was in.
We met at a bar.
I wish we did.
He's talking to Mike now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we probably made it work. To sum it up,
Please.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
The tricks, they explained
Illusions.
them. The illusions, they explained them thoroughly enough, especially except the one with the spoons. And
Yes, they explained it well enough. Don't listen to him.
not well enough to me. And the only thing they didn't explain was how the fuck did they make the teleporter appear with the scarf. That was about it.
Oh, CG.
Yeah.
I said not all of them are explained. Some of them are just CG.
Well,
and that's part of
I
my
didn't hear you
problem.
say that part, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general. It's the only thing I didn't have explained, but good movie. I enjoyed it. Thankful I saw it instead of After Earth. Josh?
Well, we didn't see After Earth. We can't really.
You know, my major problem with After Earth is it sounds like Afterbirth. So that's my major problem. Josh, go.
How do I follow Afterbirth? Oh wait.
Like this.
No, what did we see? Now you see me. Yes. Yeah, no, I thought from all the previews and trailers that it was going to be like a neat movie, something different to balance out all the summer action blockbuster movies that are going to be coming. I figured, this looks like a good caper movie. Maybe there's going to be some mystery, stuff like that. And that's kind of what it was. I mean, it was there was a caper movie. It was like a heist sort of stuff. I thought it was well acted. I thought the plot was pretty strong. It was a good written, good stuff. Some shortfallings I did have were, like you said, some of the magic tricks, illusions, the CG, falling back on the CG. I thought kind of cheapened it. Like they did that like once or twice, maybe 3 times. I have no idea, but at least two where they just kind of fell back on CG, which I thought kind of
Cheapened it.
lessened the kind of experience of like stage magicians when it's like clearly that's a fake scarf. It wasn't like even a well-made special effect. It was just like, oh, let's make it all cool.
And then the last trick at the end of the movie where they made the money appear.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's in the trailer, and it
I know it's in the
still
trailer.
looks like fake in the
Yeah,
trailer.
it still looks fake.
But I think they partially explained how that could be done, though.
Well, sort of. But I
No, I don't
mean,
think it could.
That I mean, just thought of some of the way they did that, and I think going back to what you guys were saying about how we didn't have enough dicks, Kit particularly, and I get that.
I didn't say enough dicks. I said that there
You wanted
were
more
too
dick.
many. Did I say there were more dick?
You wanted more dicks.
I wanted to see more of them where they weren't dicks.
But that was the thing, and I think that's a problem with some of the writing we had in this one. Because, I mean, while it was good, the characters seemed a lot of one or maybe two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Kenosha's own Mark Ruffalo's character was very, I'd say, a two-dimensional character in that story. Cause, I mean, most of the time he was just being an asshole, or kind of like a determined asshole. There were a few moments where he was kind of like...
He was a skeptic.
Yeah, and he did that a lot.
And he had a sort of, throughout the movie, sort of, wanting to know more and like accepting a little. It wasn't like he stayed the same the whole way though. Which
is why I said he's more of a two-dimensional.
They used the Interpol agent to kind of open him up a little bit, and make him just.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But
like
a lot of the magicians, we'll just throw Common in there because why not? He only had like 3 lines. But like they didn't really, they didn't really have any character depth. They didn't really grow. You didn't really see him a lot. Michael Caine's character was, that asshole. Like everyone was just kind of playing one-dimensional parts, except for maybe Kenosha's own Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's like the only shortcoming from the story standpoint, because around the framework of everything else was a really neat story, and you did some of the tells were pretty. Like, they telegraphed it pretty hell out in some places. If you're paying attention to that sort of thing. If you went in, like Brandon, who's seen a bunch of movies like this, went in with that mindset.
I've said this before. I don't go in wanting to know the
end.
end.
With the mindset, you just developed during the movie.
Yeah.
This reminds me of...
I sat down...
have a thought.
Yeah, and when I sat down at the movie, I was like... And they kept, like, right in the beginning, you're like... come close, as they say it 100 times in the trailer. And even more times, like, you're looking too close. The moment, like, from that, you're just like, you're picking up on stuff that are like, oh, I guess, the nuances of things, and you're kind of a little bit more aware.
Yeah, some of it was obvious, some of it wasn't to me.
Yes, good.
Yeah. Some of it wasn't so much for me. Good, because I didn't get it as quickly as you guys did.
I know.
Okay.
But I thought on the whole, it was a fairly good movie. Like, I had a good time at it.
I might see it again.
Well, knowing what the twist is, kind of seeing it a second time and under that mindset. I mean, it'd be okay. Again. I wouldn't, go to the theater again. No, but I wouldn't mind watching it again, just like knowing more of, what's going on at the end game to kind of see how that plays out throughout the entirety of it. See if you miss something, that was something like this.
I don't think it's a Sixth Sense sort of thing.
No. I mean, I wouldn't say you'd want to go do it again just to, like, check it out. But it would be knowing what you know now and checking through the movie again, I think it would be kind of, like, at least curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun.
Would you say it was fun and enjoyable?
I would say it was fun and enjoyable.
I've said that a lot on camera.
Did you?
anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
We're not the only one who watched Brian's Fast and Six review.
Anyways.
Oh, I actually didn't see it. No. Did you saw that?
I don't know why we're talking about this now. That was my first time doing one alone. It's kind of weird. So,
but you seem to have a lot of fun, and you enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah. Both of those things are true.
But no, and I think this movie was fun and enjoyable, and I recommend it.
I would too.
Okay, so I think that's 3 approvals. So there you go. Watch it if you want to, and no one's gonna sway you. I don't think we're not like pushing it on people.
I would.
Right?
Yeah, I'd push.
You would push it on people, like.
Well, if I had a physical copy, I would.
You would be telling people you need to
I'd
go.
I'd give a shit if they fucking watch it.
I'd just knock them. I'd like to push things.
I would say it's worth your time. It's a good movie. I like it.
If you stayed in this far, you're gonna.
I'm going to recommend this to my friends.
Yeah.
But if they don't go see it, I don't really give a shit what they do.
So yeah.
And that's our review.
Now you see me.
And then you cue a little smoke thing and we vanish.